not one, not two, but three standout students, and they all share the same birth date. Plus, state education leaders converge on Brooklyn Center High School, why they see the school as a model to help other schools across the state. But first, the latest on a shooting in Brooklyn Park that left 2 people injured. 12 News starts right now.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. Brooklyn Park police are looking for a gunman who shot 2 people in a residential area.
So far, police say they have very little information to go on. The shooting occurred shortly after 10 Wednesday night in the 6300 block of Douglas Drive. Police say when they got to the scene, they found a man and a woman with gunshot wounds.
At this point, we believe it's one lone shooter that approached the vehicle and opened fire on the vehicle as the victims were inside and then fled on foot. We don't know if they got into a vehicle or if they have a home nearby.
The man was shot in the face while the woman was shot in the arm. Both have non-life-threatening injuries and are expected to be okay. Police don't know if there is a relation between the gunman and the victims, but they do not think the general public is at risk. Police don't have a description yet of the shooter. If you have any information, you're urged to call Brooklyn Park Police.
A young Golden Valley man is accused of robbing a St. Louis Park convenience store. 18-year-old Shivbir Singh is charged with 2 robbery counts. According to the criminal complaint, Singh told the cashier there was a problem with the restroom. When the cashier went to check it out, Singh went behind the counter and grabbed several items, including packs of cigarettes. The complaint says Singh then punched the cashier as she tried to stop him. Graduation rates in the Brooklyn Center School District are on the rise.
The rates have jumped 14 percentage points from 2010 to 2014, and school officials attribute that to the district's full-service community school model. As Delane Cleveland reports, others have taken notice and hope to follow in Brooklyn Center's lead.
Schools are often judged by test scores and graduation rates. That's certainly true of the Brooklyn Center School District, but it's not just academics.
Back in 2009, Brooklyn Center Schools decided to change how it operated to become more responsive to the community.
That have educators from around the state singing the district's praises.
In this case, we know that full-service community schools work.
Thursday morning, the Teachers Union Education Minnesota highlighted the district's efforts for being a full-service community school.
A community school might have a food shelf, a clothing bank, legal services to support parents, a health clinic, mental health services.
On top of offering those various resources to people in the area.
This is known to kids as the Blue Barn. It's actually the Brooklyn Center Youth Recreation Center.
The district also partnered with the city to build a new recreation center that's used for a variety of activities to keep kids off the streets.
I would consider it as a lost opportunity if the space wasn't here. So a lost opportunity to engage kids and meeting them where they are.
That investment in the full-service community school model has translated into things like increased graduation rates and reduced truancy.
It's a small investment of money for a huge return. Typically, that's something the legislature is interested in doing.
Now, Education Minnesota wants state lawmakers to take notice and allocate $2 million next year to fund similar programs. However, getting that funding will require a lobbying effort at the state capitol.
The roadblocks are really typically the political will to put money towards it.
Talk to officials from the Brooklyn Center School District, and they'll argue that it's money well spent.
I consider it a true cost-effective model that, is an educational strategy in closing the opportunity gap as well as the achievement gap. It just takes time.
In Brooklyn Center, Delane Cleveland, 12 News.
According to Education Minnesota, the state legislature appropriated $500,000 for full-service community school projects in the 2015 session. The teachers union wants additional money to come from the state budget surplus.
And a snapshot of the state budget reveals a whole lot of leftover cash. The state's budget surplus has swelled to $1.8 billion. That's about $1 billion more than when lawmakers finished the last legislative session in June. Now the question is what to do with the money. A current law mandates that 1/3 must be put away for a rainy day fund. One local lawmaker has released some ideas on what to do with the rest of the money. DFL Senator John Hoffman of Champlin says we should focus on passing a comprehensive transportation bill and a strong capital investment bill, both items that have a direct impact on the Northwest Metro, unquote. Others are weighing in with tax-cutting ideas, and lawmakers are scheduled to reconvene in March.
Could that larger surplus impact the number of construction projects proposed around the state? Today, the Senate Bonding Committee looked at proposals in Plymouth and Golden Valley. Recommendations to the legislature will be made next year. In Plymouth, improvements at the Ice Center have been passed over twice before. The city is asking for help now with 3 major upgrades. A federal rule requires a change in the refrigerant that's used to make ice. The city would also like to convert one ice rink to a smaller size to make it more versatile. They also need to replace the roof. The requests add up to $2.2 million.
It's not just about Plymouth, it's a state asset, it's a regional asset, and we really feel like the state should make those investments. So I want to show them how big this facility is, how it accommodates tournaments and players.
The projections for revenues were up, and that will translate into a much easier job for us to convince our colleagues that we should put a part of that into our infrastructure across the state.
Senator Stump says news of a bigger budget surplus may help convince lawmakers to fund more projects. There are more than $3 billion worth of bonding requests.
Maple Grove holiday tradition complete with reindeer and caroling gets underway tonight. That's Thursday evening. This is a snapshot of last year's Light the Grove at Maple Grove Hospital. The annual event offers families a chance to take pictures with Santa and his reindeer, join in some caroling, and get on board for a horse-drawn trolley ride. The event is free and open to the public. A food or toy donation is encouraged for Cross, a nonprofit that serves families in need in the Maple Grove area. Well, coming up, 3 students who are a lot alike, but also very different. Meet the Cooper High School Triplets coming up next.
And then a little bit later in sports, how a local championship coach will spread his knowledge on a national level.
But first, the warm-up continues. We could reach 40 degrees on Friday. A private school in Plymouth is in the midst of a $20 million effort to improve their facilities for arts and athletics.
The Providence Academy recently completed an athletic dome and multi-sport turf field on its Plymouth campus. Now construction is underway on a $15 million 700-seat performing arts center that the school hopes could be an amenity for the broader community to enjoy. The facilities upgrades are part of a $20 million fundraising campaign at Providence.
Academics is absolutely a keystone, but arts and athletics are part of that full package. So with the kind of premium facilities that we've always had for academics, we wanted to make sure that we had a vision of providing that for the arts and for athletics.
Providence first opened its doors in 2001. The Catholic school has grown to more than 800 students in pre-kindergarten through 12th grade. Well, we have a very unique situation in this week's Standout Student.
You don't see this very often. Instead of just one standout student, we have 3. They're triplets who all stand out at Cooper High School. 12 News reporter Shannon Slatton introduces us to seniors Stephen, Sophie, and Andrew Fitzsimmons.
We've been together for our whole lives.
The Fitzsimmons triplets from Golden Valley have always stood out as one of the few, if only, sets of triplets in the school.
It's nice having 2 people that always support your decisions and what you're doing.
Or critique them sometimes.
Now Andrew, Sophie, and Stephen are seniors at Cooper High School.
Very respectful. Very polite.
They are all good students in the IB program and involved in extracurricular activities. But they all have distinct personalities.
If you hadn't told me that they were triplets, I wouldn't necessarily even know, just because they're so different.
When it comes to sports, though, they are 3 of a kind.
Every day growing up,
we
would play some kind of sport.
Yeah, from
baseball,
extreme pillow fighting when we were little to football and tackling. We just loved being aggressive and being competitive.
Yeah, we play every type of sport you can think of.
But playing every sport couldn't go on forever.
I think I was like 12. My dad said, we can't keep driving you to soccer and baseball and basketball.
Steven picked baseball. He's been captain of the varsity baseball team for the last 2 years and signed to play Division I baseball at Valparaiso. Sophie picks soccer. She's varsity captain.
I loved the contact, physicality of soccer.
And Andrew picks soccer too. He not only plays varsity, but in 2 other leagues. Next year, their paths will diverge. Each triplet could be headed to college in a different state.
You don't want to be too far away from your family and have it too hard, come back for holidays.
But they agree they'll always be close at heart because that's just how they were raised.
I think it's just a testament to their parents that they've raised such good human beings.
In New Hope, Shannon Slatton, 12 News.
Stephen is choosing between Drake and University of Colorado at Boulder, and Sophie is choosing between Drake and the University of Minnesota. So different.
Yes. Imagine for their parents,
Yeah.
3 of them leaving at the same time,
Amazing,
right?
Yeah. Coming up, the genie is let out of the bottle at Maple Grove High School.
But first in sports, the high-powered Hopkins girls basketball team hosts a big event this week. John Jacobson has the details coming up.
Well, starting with girls basketball, Hopkins could be a pretty good team this year. They've already got a couple games under their belt, and we'll see some more this weekend.
2 wins. They won the state championship last year. They're usually pretty good. Yeah, I think they should be all right again this season. Hopkins girls basketball team should be one of the state's premier teams this winter. They're set to be the host team at a big event this weekend. The Breakdown Tip-Off Classic is Saturday at Hopkins. The Royals will take on Elk River at 7 p.m., followed by the Hopkins boys, playing a team from Des Moines, Iowa. It should be an exciting day.
I look forward to seeing Apple Valley play. I look forward to seeing our boys play. I really do. I really think that they have a really bright future, actually. Coach Novak is an amazing coach. This year, it's the last year at the Breakdown for me, so it's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's a great environment for girls basketball, and there's some nice boys games in there as well. It's a great time for girls because it's early on in the season. As coaches, we get to see a lot of teams, so we can scout all day, basically. So it's a fun day.
The Royals lost talented players T.T. Starks and Brian Livingston to graduation and Liz Bolver to a family move, but it's still a very talented group. Michigan State recruit Nia Holly is one of the state's top players. The Royals won their early bird tournament Thanksgiving weekend and like what they've seen so far.
Our chemistry wasn't really put together at first, but I think we're really coming together good as a team. Our younger players are really stepping up, learning how we play and the plays and everything. So yeah, we're coming together well.
Prior to the Breakdown event, Hopkins plays Champlin Park Thursday night. After winning the state meet title, the Hopkins boys cross country team is still running. Hopkins won the Nike Cross Nationals Heartland Regional in Sioux Falls last month. And this Saturday, they'll race at the national finals in Portland, Oregon. Hopkins actually improved on its state meet time at the Heartland Regional. Jack Henschel led the way, taking 13th place, with Seth Eliason coming in 16th and Owen Hafe 17th. Wayzata's Jared Carpenter won the individual title at the Heartland Regional, advancing to the national final, and the Wayzata team received an at-large invite. Carpenter was the individual champion at this year's state meet. The Nike Cross Nationals is an unofficial national championship for high school runners. There's a live webcast of the event this Saturday at NikeCrossNationals.com. The Osseo Wrestling team has a new head coach this season, and for the first time in quite a while, it's not someone with Osseo ties. David Ahmed takes over the Orioles this season. The Montana native has recently been an assistant at Elk River High School and coached in Great Falls, Montana. It's been a good transition.
Yeah, it's a very exciting opportunity. Osseo's historically had a great tradition of wrestling, and at this stage, we just want to build on that tradition and look to improve each and every day as we set our goals to come across state tournament here in the near future.
Ahmed's a good coach. He brings in some new drills, some new techniques, some new moves, so hopefully he can shake some things up and bring in some wins here.
Osseo placed 8th at its own Ken Drogemuller Invitational last weekend. State entrant Nick Carline leads the returners, although he's out injured right now. 20-win wrestlers Mitch Lewison and Adam Lanners are back strong. There are a lot of young wrestlers, but it is a team with some potential.
There's a lot of new guys, but a lot of good athletes, so I feel like everyone's going to pick up on stuff a lot easier. So we should have a pretty good squad by the end of the year.
The Orioles are at a quad meet at Anoka Friday. Next Friday, the 11th, they'll host Maple Grove in a match you'll see live on Channel 12. Derrin Lamker guided the Osseo football team to a state championship last month, and the Orioles head coach has received a special honor. Lamker will speak at the Nike Coach of the Year Clinic in Las Vegas in late February. State title winning coaches from several states are invited to speak at the clinic. Lamker is excited for the opportunity.
I've spoke at some clinics before and done some things like that, but to do the Nike Coach of the Year type of thing and with other coaches that have won the state tournament from other states, it's just a great chance to learn from them and to be recognized. It's great for our program and our community and everybody that's played at Osseo in the past also. They have a hand in this also.
Lamker has also been invited to speak at a coaches clinic in Iowa in January. So congratulations to him.
All right, thanks a lot, John. Coming up, Maple Grove turns into the city of enchantment.
We will explain coming up next. Well, finally, Maple Grove High School turns into a city of enchantment.
Disney's Aladdin Jr. takes the stage at Maple Grove High School. The production is done by students involved with Front Porch Musical Theater. They've been working on it since September, and the magic is let out of the genie bottle tonight.
Aladdin just seemed like a really fun show for me. I've always loved it. Wasn't sure which character I was going to get. The Sultan wasn't actually one of my top choices, but I've come to enjoy the role. It's been a lot of fun.
It's so bright, it's so colorful, there's so many wonderful dances in it, there's funny parts, you know, there's also the bad guy Jafar, but every age, up into grandparents, I particularly think it's a great show for people to bring families to, for grandparents to bring all their grandchildren to, and just spend an evening unplugged with live theater.
Performances are this week and next at Maple Grove High School. For tickets, go to frontporchmusicaltheater.com. I love all the colors there, too. What a great
cast. You happen to mention grandparents and granddaughters, and I know mine would love that. 5-year-old, perfect.
You said it, got to do it, right?
That's right?
That does it for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
And we will see you back here again tomorrow, starting at 4.